Clinton Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison in Dannemora, New York, became the center of one of the most infamous prison escapes in modern American history in June 2015. Richard Matt and David Sweat, two inmates convicted of heinous crimes, devised a plan that showcased their cunning and determination while exposing shocking lapses in prison security. Over months, the duo meticulously prepared for their escape. Using tools smuggled to them by Joyce Mitchell, a civilian prison worker, they began cutting through the walls of their cells. Behind their beds, they discovered a network of utility tunnels. Night after night, they worked under the cover of darkness, chiseling through the walls with hacksaws and power tools. The noise and debris were cleverly concealed. They used pillows and clothing to muffle the sounds and placed the debris in plastic bags hidden inside their cells. Their route took them through the innards of the prison's infrastructure. They navigated pipes and labyrinthine tunnels with remarkable precision. To avoid detection, they covered the holes in their cells with painted cardboard cutouts that matched the walls, a trick that deceived guards during routine inspections. Their plan was bold and audacious, relying heavily on timing and secrecy. Joyce Mitchell played a critical role in their escape. Initially drawn into their scheme by Matt's charm and manipulation, Mitchell agreed to smuggle in tools and even promised to drive the escapees to safety after their breakout. However, on the night of the escape, Mitchell, overcome with fear and guilt, failed to show up at the rendezvous point, leaving Matt and Sweat to fend for themselves. On June 6, 2015, the pair finally broke free. Crawling through the intricate network of tunnels, they emerged from a manhole located outside the prison walls. The realization of their escape sent shockwaves through the facility and the surrounding community. A massive manhunt involving over 1,000 law enforcement officers was launched immediately, with helicopters, search dogs, and heavily armed teams scouring the area. The duo's escape captured national attention, turning them into infamous figures overnight. Richard Matt and David Sweat managed to evade capture for nearly 3 weeks, traversing the dense forests and rural landscapes of upstate New York. They left behind signs of their presence, including abandoned campsites and stolen supplies. The vast and challenging terrain made tracking them a grueling task for law enforcement. Their run from the law came to a violent end. On June 26, Matt was discovered in a remote cabin. When confronted by authorities, he refused to surrender and was fatally shot by a tactical team. Sweat, on the other hand, was apprehended 2 days later. He was shot and wounded as he attempted to flee on foot, just miles from the Canadian border. The escape highlighted significant flaws in the prison system, including lax oversight, corruption, and inadequate security measures. Several prison employees, including Joyce Mitchell, faced criminal charges for their roles in the escape. Mitchell, who admitted to her involvement, was sentenced to prison herself, adding another layer of tragedy to the story. The daring escape of Richard Matt and David Sweat remains a chilling reminder of how even the most secure facilities can be breached through a combination of human error and calculated planning. Their story continues to serve as a cautionary tale about the vulnerabilities of the penal system and the lengths to which desperate individuals will go to reclaim their freedom. Joaquin El Chapo Guzman's escape from Mexico's Altiplano maximum security prison in 2015 remains one of the most audacious and meticulously executed prison breaks in modern history. As the leader of the Sinaloa cartel, one of the world's most powerful drug trafficking organizations, Guzman had access to immense resources, loyal operatives, and an unparalleled ability to exploit systemic weaknesses. This escape not only demonstrated his cunning, but also exposed alarming flaws within Mexico's prison and law enforcement systems. El Chapo had been apprehended in 2014 after evading authorities for over a decade. Following his capture, he was incarcerated at Altiplano, a facility considered escape-proof. He was held in a high-surveillance cell equipped with cameras, kept under constant guard, and prohibited from interacting with other inmates. The Mexican government boasted about the stringent measures in place, confident that Guzman would never slip through their grasp again. However, Guzman began planning his escape almost immediately after his imprisonment, using the resources of his vast criminal empire. Central to the plan was a tunnel, a hallmark of Guzman's operations, as he had long used underground passages for smuggling drugs across borders. This tunnel, however, was unlike any before. Dug over several months, it stretched nearly a mile from a construction site outside the prison walls directly beneath Guzman's cell. Equipped with lighting, ventilation, and even a customized motorcycle mounted on rails, the tunnel was a masterpiece of covert engineering. Reports suggested that construction materials and tools were smuggled in piece by piece, with workers carefully avoiding detection. On the evening of July 11, 2015, Guzman executed his escape. Surveillance footage showed him pacing his cell, appearing restless. At one point, he walked to the shower area, a blind spot in the camera's view, and disappeared. What the cameras missed was Guzman lifting a section of the shower floor to reveal a hole leading directly to the tunnel below. He descended into the passage, climbed onto the rail-mounted motorcycle, and sped through the underground corridor to freedom. The precision and sophistication of the tunnel stunned investigators, as it was evident that the operation required extensive planning, expertise, and likely inside assistance. By the time prison guards realized Guzman was missing, he had already emerged from the tunnel into a house under construction and disappeared into the night. His escape triggered an international media frenzy and an enormous manhunt. Over 30,000 law enforcement personnel were mobilized, supported by drones, helicopters, and roadblocks. Despite the massive effort, Guzman managed to evade capture for months, moving between safe houses and relying on the extensive network of loyalists he had cultivated over years. The fallout from the escape was immense. It embarrassed the Mexican government, leading to widespread criticism and speculation about corruption within the prison system. How could such a sophisticated tunnel be built without detection? Investigators uncovered evidence suggesting that several prison employees had either turned a blind eye or actively assisted in the operation. The hunt for Guzman came to an end in January 2016. Acting on intelligence reports, Mexican Marines raided a house in Los Mochis, Sinaloa, where Guzman was hiding. After a dramatic firefight, Guzman was recaptured and brought back into custody. This time, the Mexican government took no chances. In 2017, Guzman was extradited to the United States, where he faced charges related to drug trafficking, money laundering, and murder. Convicted and sentenced to life in prison, he was placed in ADX Florence, a supermax facility in Colorado designed to house the most dangerous criminals, ensuring he would never escape again. El Chapo's 2015 escape is remembered as a story of incredible ingenuity, systemic failure, and the relentless pursuit of a man who had defied capture time and again. It remains a cautionary tale about the lengths to which powerful criminals will go to regain their freedom, as well as a sobering reminder of the challenges in combating organized crime on a global scale. The Alcatraz escape of June 11, 1962, stands as one of the most infamous prison breaks in history. Frank Morris and brothers John and Clarence Anglin orchestrated a daring plan to flee the high-security island prison in San Francisco Bay. Known for housing the nation's most dangerous criminals, Alcatraz was thought to be inescapable, but these men defied the odds with ingenuity and resourcefulness. Frank Morris, regarded as highly intelligent, led the escape planning. The Anglin brothers, experienced swimmers from their Florida upbringing, were key collaborators. Another inmate, Alan West, assisted in the preparations but was unable to escape due to delays on the final night. Over months, the trio used homemade tools to chip away at the concrete surrounding the ventilation grates in their cells, carefully hiding their progress with painted cardboard. These openings led to an unguarded utility corridor behind their cells, providing a secret pathway out. To fool guards during nightly headcounts, the men crafted lifelike dummy heads using plaster, soap, paint, and real hair collected from the prison barbershop. They also created a raft and life vests from over 50 raincoats, stitching them together with improvised materials and even designing a makeshift pump to inflate the raft. On the night of the escape, Morris and the Anglins crawled through the holes in their cells, navigated the utility corridor, and climbed to the roof of the cell block. From there, they accessed the shoreline, where they inflated their raft and set out into the icy, turbulent waters of San Francisco Bay. By the time their absence was discovered the following morning, the men had vanished, leaving authorities stunned. A massive manhunt ensued, involving local and federal agencies, but the escapees were never found. Investigators discovered pieces of the raft and personal items in the bay, leading the FBI to conclude that the men likely drowned in the strong currents. However, no bodies were ever recovered, fueling endless speculation about their fate. The Anglin family later claimed to have received photographs and letters suggesting the brothers survived and fled to South America. In 2013, a letter surfaced, allegedly written by one of the Anglins, claiming he was still alive, though its authenticity remains unconfirmed. The escape from Alcatraz remains an enduring mystery and a testament to the human spirit's resilience. Whether Morris and the Anglins perished or succeeded, their story challenges the reputation of Alcatraz as escape-proof, cementing their place in history as the men who dared to defy the impossible.